Okay, now let's get started. The City of Houston's Homebuyers Assistance Program. Now, the Homebuyers Assistance Program is actually administered by the Houston Housing and Community Development Department, and the program is eligible for low to moderate income families. The funds may be used to assist approved applicants in paying down payment, closing costs, and principal paydown. Let's talk about a few of the qualifications. Now, you must be a first time home buyer or not have owned a home within the past 3 years. Also, you must not have more than $15,000 in liquid assets prior to closing. Now, deferred assets such as pension, 401k, and etc. are not included in that amount. Now, the buyer and co-borrower must be U.S. citizens or permanent resident aliens. Buyers must be able to obtain fixed rate finance mortgages. The program does not accept adjustable rate mortgages or seller financed mortgages. An eligible home buyer at or below the 80% area median income, which we'll talk about a little later in the next slide, may receive a maximum of $30,000 in assistance. Now, the buyers must contribute at least $350, which, hey guys, hey, for a whole house, if that's the minimum you have to contribute, that is really awesome. Now, the selected home must be located within the property tax jurisdiction of the city of Houston. So this is when knowing where you want to be kind of plays a big factor. How can you tell if your home is located in the city of Houston jurisdiction? We'll talk about that in a little more detail, but right now, just to kind of give you an overlay, what you do is go to the Harris County tax records, um, and you can put in the address, and generally it's going to have like a little list of where portions of the taxes are being paid. And if you pull up an address and you see that a portion of the taxes jurisdiction says City of Houston, that means that more than likely that property is in the City of Houston or paying tax to the City of Houston. If you do not see that, then this property is definitely not going to qualify for this program because it's not in the City of Houston jurisdiction. All right, now let's talk about a little bit more about the AMI. So combining household incomes must be at or below the 80% income listed in the following chart below. So they're going to be using all the income together. So if you have, let's say, for example, there's one person in the house, and make it easy. The first one person in the house, their area median income maximum is 42,750. And what they're going to be looking at is income. They're going to be looking at your payments from your employer, your child support, any reoccurring gifts, etc. All the income is going to be subject in that amount. Talk to your lender and they'll know how to, take care of that. But this is a really important page. Some things may be a little different. Just if you have a lender that knows what they're doing, they know how to look at this properly. Let's keep getting into the guidelines. Now, eligible property types. And this is one thing that's really awesome about this program. So you can purchase a single family home. You can purchase a duplex. You can purchase a triplex. You can purchase a quadplex. That's the four quadplex. Okay. Attached townhome, condominiums, or cooperative units. All right. The great thing about this program is you can use it to purchase investment properties with the duplex, the triplex. It's considered okay in this. And also, if you get like a duplex, you live in one side, the other people lease the other side. And this is a really good opportunity for people to get into investment properties under this program. Now, each applicant must take an 8-hour home buyers education course through an approved HUD counseling agency, which I'll have the link below where you can find those agencies. Now, applicants must occupy the home as their principal residence for a minimum of 5 years. The back end ratios cannot exceed 45%. We'll talk about that in more detail here shortly. Also, property must pass an environmental and inspection review. The borrower cannot be delinquent on any student loans, federal income tax, as well as state and local tax authorities, excuse me, utility payments or city services. You have to be caught up on all of those things and cannot be in delinquent with any of those government facilities owing them money. All right, now let's talk about a few frequently asked questions. Now, may I qualify for more than $30,000 of assistance? Under this particular program, no, ma'am. The maximum amount of assistance that you can get in this program is $30,000, which is great. Now, how is the back end ratio calculator? Remember, we talked about that a little earlier, 45%? Okay, so the back end calculation is added together adds together all the borrower's monthly debt payments and is divided by the sum by the monthly gross income. So let's say, for example, they make $60,000 a year, right? We're going to divide that 60,000 by 12, and so their gross monthly income is $5,000. And if they have a total monthly debt of 2,000, we get the back end ratio by doing the 2,000 divided by the 5,000, and that gives us a ratio of 40%, which is fine because it's still below the 45%. If you have any more questions about that, refer you back to your lender or send me a text message or a message below. Now, how do I determine if a home is located within the property tax jurisdiction of the city of Houston? We talked about this a little bit, but it can get a little confusing simply because just because your address might be hit Houston, you does not mean you're in the tax jurisdiction of the city of Houston. So you want to always visit the Harris County Tax Appraisal District, which you have the link there. I also have a link below, and enter the home address. If the CAD shows the home in the tax city of the city of Houston, then the home will qualify for the program. Now, you may also refer to this map, which I will have a link below. The reason why I don't quite like this map is because it doesn't give you exacts. So, I mean, it's a great reference point, but in general, guide of eligibility of the area city, I would say start with the AutoCAD. Well, I'm sorry, AutoCAD, HCAD. And if it's a brand new development or new home, check with your agent or the sales rep, and we can confirm if this home would fit or fall in the category to fit this program's need. How is housing income determined? Okay, to determine, go visit the HUD income calculator website. Okay, this is a great tool to use because it's always kind of changing. So this is a great tool that they keep up to date, and you can go there, do the start calculating income section, and follow the instructions to calculate your household income. So this will give you a great basis or understanding or kind of figure out where you are. Sorry, that's moving a little slow. Okay. May I take the Homebuyers education course online? In this case, the answer is yes. As long as you complete a one-on-one homebuyer advising counseling session with HUD approved counseling agency. Each applicant must obtain a homebuyer's education certificate through HUD approved counseling agency. So each applicant, your husband, wife, both of you have to come. You can't sub for your husband and vice versa. You both have to come and get that certification. Um, I do have a link below with all the list of the HUD approved counseling agencies. You might want to contact them directly to see what their schedules are, what classes they have available, if they offer those online courses, because not all of them possibly do, but some do. So you want to touch base with them and see what'll fit your schedule. What if I need to sell my house before I have lived in it for 5 years? This is a great question. Get it all the time. Now, remember we said that you usually have to keep the house for 5 years, right? So the loan will be forgiven at a rate of 20% for each full year of residency in the home. For example, if you received assistance in the amount of $30,000 and then you complete 3 years of the required five, then that 60%, which is 18,000 of subsidy, will be forgiven. Now, you're going to be leaving a balance owed of $12,000 and you'll just have to reimburse that at the closing. Now, how long does the process take? Typically, to get approved, preliminary approval can be received back within 72 business hours with a full file. So you want to make sure that you've looked at your application and you've turned in everything on that list, in addition to if they ask you for anything else. Be very quick, prompt, and open about giving them the information that they need. And the quicker they get what they need, the quicker they can get you approved. And with a full file, they said approval can take up to 2 weeks, within 2 weeks. Okay, am I required to work with a approved program lender? And the answer to that is no. The program does not have an approved lender list. Applicants may choose any lender. However, let me tell you, you want to be careful on who you choose. If you're going to talk to a lender, I mean, we have people that we refer, and the people we refer work this program all the time. They know the ins and outs. Just because someone's a lender, they just started this program has a lot of back end work that the lender is required to do. And if the lender is not familiar with the city's processes and how they do things, it can slow things down tremendously, frustrating buyer, seller, it frustrating the lender. So it's best to work with a lender that has experience working these types of programs and also knows people inside and outside of this company that that works these programs. Now, is there a cost for your inspection? And what does that inspection include? Now, guys, there are two different inspections. You're going to have your third party inspection that you do, but there's going to be a city inspection. They're going to be doing one conducted by their department. And this inspection is a free service conducted by their department. A copy of the inspection um, or what they use will be available to you. I have a link below for the example of what they use. But please note that the city inspection is not to replace the buyer's independent inspection. These two are very different, and we recommend that you, the buyer, still obtain an outside private inspection. Now, what is an environmental review and why is it needed? Okay, y'all, you know we live in the city of Houston, and because HAP is a federally funded through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, they mandate that the HCDD does not use federal funds to assist a home buy with a home buyer or purchasing a home located in a floodway. You know what I mean? It just makes common sense. So to check to make sure a property is eligible and not located into the floodplain, I do have a link here below, but you want to go ahead and check the flood map, enter the property address, and if it's located in the floodway, the property is not eligible for the down payment assistance. It's just not. Now, if it's located in the flood zone, or flood insurance is required to proceed with the sale. So there's a difference. In the floodway, no. In the flood zone, it's going to require flood insurance to proceed. Note that if the home is new or undergoing construction, the mappers may not be able to locate the address. So in this rare occasion, it's very rare, but if it occurs, they'll do an environmental. The environmental team will have to map out the address during the application process for final determination. Guys, with our flood maps changing, this is a very important tool to kind of keep an eye on. What was flood zone last year, what wasn't flood zone last year is probably, it's changed. So you want to keep a close eye on this. Now, is there mandatory training that lenders must participate in to do this program? And this is for people that are lenders and they have a buyer that wants to participate. Now, is there a class? No. No requirements or pre-approval through the lender. You don't have to be a pre-approved lender on this list to participate in it. However, you're welcome to register for one of their monthly courses. they say you're welcome. I would say as someone that would want to be proficient in what they do, I suggest you definitely take this course because it's not the same. You want to know how they work. If you want to be able to offer this to your buyers, you definitely want to understand the program and how it functions. Um, and again, link below about that. Now, is there a secondary lien attached to this program? And yes, we talked about this. There's a 5-year secondary lien that is lifted once the 5-year residency requirement has been met. Who is the loan servicer? HAP Loans is serviced internally with our loan servicing division. Now, the loan is not amortized. However, there is a 6% fee applied to the default loan balance. So what that means is if you sell the property prior to that 5-year, whatever that default amount, we kind of talked about the 20%, whatever that amount is, there is a 6% fee applied to that. Otherwise, no. Now, must the applicant be a U.S. citizen? We've talked about this. Yes, applicant must be a U.S. citizen or a permanent residency card holder. Again, we're in the state of Texas, common law state. So if you get married and you're a citizen, but you marry someone that's not a citizen, because they're going to have to pull both, neither one of you will be qualified. Both have to qualify under one of those two. Can the buyer receive cash back at closing? The answer is no. The program does not allow cash back to the buyer. Any additional funds that are left over are going to be applied to the principal, and it's going to reduce that rate. So it is kind of the same. It's not getting your pocket, but it is coming off, the price of the house. So whatever you don't use, you don't just lose it. It goes off the principal, which is great. Let's talk about this. What's the next step? A lot of people want to know, is this the program for you? And from my experience, let me just tell you, before just going, I want this program, you need to sit down and think what's important for you and your family. What are the factors you're looking for in a home? What's important? Your kids' schooling, uh, the location. Do you want to be near family? Are you looking for an investment property? Are you looking for a great deal near friends and family? Where do you want to be? Because this program, it's very specific only to homes that are in the city of Houston jurisdiction maps, okay? And if you look at the map below, you'll see that it's not a lot of places. So if you're like, well, that's not the school district I want to be in, or this is not, you have to figure out what's important to you, because in the end, you're going to be living here. You have to pay the bills. You're going to have to love your home, okay? And you have to love the area. So look at that map, confirm, hey, is this what I want to be? Or, any of these areas that have this program where I want to be. And also link up with your lender. That is the next thing. Link up with your lender. I have a great lender that I can refer you, but link up with a lender that not only knows this program, but is familiar with tons of programs located in the Houston area, Harris County, which I'll talk about more, Baytown, Seth. There's so many programs out there. When you speak to your lender, not only should you be asking them, hey, do I qualify for any programs? I have a lender that you don't even have to ask her. She's going to ask you for all your information you're going to give her, and she's going to do the due diligence and search for programs for you and see what you qualify for. She is amazing. If you have any questions about her, totally let me know. But the first thing, you're ready for the next step, link up with the Evelyn Team Real Estate Brokerage. Hello, you got our information below, and apply with a lender. Like I said, our preferred lender, I'll put their information below, but they're amazing. They're just wonderful. Thank you, God. Okay. And then check out the application checklist below. If you decided, hey, for sure, I want to live in this area, I want this program, you want to check out the application checklist below and start gathering together those documents. I'm telling you, no matter probably what loan you're going to need, more than likely it's going to be like the same list of documents that they're going to need. So just start gathering those together and then reach out to your lender. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave messages below or email me. I'm here. Thanks.